Yusuf, remember Biru al-Walidain.
Police! Police! Drop the weapon! Drop it now!
The Lagos market paused with 1,000 whispers, but 16-year-old Aisha only had a frantic pounding of her own heart. Beneath her simple abaya and faded hijab, she clutched a worn copy of the Quran, its pages her private sanctuary from the chaos outside. Her family, outwardly devoted and prominent in their African Muslim community, was secretly spiraling. Mallam Musa, her father, had become consumed by promises of quick wealth, abandoning the ethical trade principles taught in the local madrasa. Aisha often heard his hushed calls mentioning the name, Mr. Davies, and discussing business ventures that felt dangerously close to riba, interest, and outright fraud, practices strictly forbidden by Islamic moral lesson. Aisha knew her family's wealth should be halal, lawful, to receive barakah, blessing. Her older brother, Yusuf, 20, was blinded by the dream of leaving their cramped Lagos apartment. He readily embraced their father's schemes, his increasing arrogance fueled by material desire, subtly eroding his practice of faith. Aisha, however, found deep conviction in her secret devotions. She awoke hours before far, finding true resilience in the Quran's light. She remembered the profound wisdom of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Indeed, what is lawful is evident, and what is unlawful is evident, and between them are ambiguous matters. Bukhari and Muslim. Her father's dealings were no longer ambiguous. They were rapidly becoming unlawful. The moment of stark realization hit when Aisha discovered a significant wad of foreign currency stashed beneath her father's prayer mat, money far exceeding his legitimate income. That evening, she overheard Mallam Musa confirming details. The first shipment, yes, by the port. Mr. Davies wants it handled quickly. It's high value. A cold dread solidified her fear. This was definitely illicit. The ensuing financial and spiritual fallout for their family would be catastrophic. As Aisha backed away, her gaze caught a glint of polished metal on the table, barely concealed by a newspaper, a small, ornate dagger, an item completely foreign and menacing to their home. This wasn't just death or fraud, it was a path leading to physical danger. The sight of the ornate dagger solidified Aisha's certainty. Her father's path was now laced with violence and spiritual compromise. This chilling new intensity pressed upon her, mocking the quiet devotion she sought in her African Muslim home. When she cautiously questioned Yusuf the next morning, he was dismissive, admiring a new, expensive watch. Stay out of men's business, Aisha. It's a gold deal. We'll leave this dusty house soon. His blatant disregard for the Islamic moral lesson of seeking honest earnings fueled her isolation. Even her mother, Hafsa, failed to see the danger, proudly showing off cheap, new jewelry Mallam Musa had gifted her. Your Baba is finally making us proud. Hafsa's oblivious joy was painful. Aisha realized she was utterly alone in upholding the haq, truth, and preventing the descent into haram. Her turning point arrived during her solitary Tawhid night prayer. A powerful conviction seized her as she recited the hadith, "Whosoever of you sees an evil, let him change it with his hand, and if he is not able to do so, then let him change it with his tongue, and if he is not able to do so, then with his heart, and that is the weakest of faith." Muslim. Aisha resolved she must act. Driven by this spiritual command, she made a desperate, discreet phone call to Amanah, her former Quranic teacher known for her piety, who lived in a quiet, rural village outside Lagos. Ostada, Aisha whispered, "My family, they are walking a very dangerous path. I need your guidance." Amanah, sensing the gravity, asked her to come immediately. As Aisha silently prepared to leave for the bus park, she froze. Her father's voice, usually cautious, was frantic. "The deal is moving up. Mr. Davies needs it by tomorrow. The ship sails tonight, Yusuf will deliver." This shocking acceleration meant there was no time for counseling. She had to intercept Yusuf now. The culmination of their family's spiritual decay was imminent, and the ship sailing tonight would seal their fate in haram. The high-intensity action exploded onto the crowded Lagos streets as Aisha frantically chased the final moments of the deadline. She ignored the fear and the pounding in her chest, propelled only by her duty to Allah and her family. She spotted Yusuf near the bus park, a large, heavy duffel bag slung over his shoulder, confirming her worst fears. He was already finalizing the delivery via his mobile phone. The emotional conflict erupted as Aisha confronted him, her voice ragged with desperation. "Yusuf, "Stop. This is haram. This business is forbidden and will destroy us." Yusuf, enraged by her interference and her attempts to enforce the Islamic moral lesson, shoved her away. "Get lost, Aisha. You and your books. This is our freedom." His arrogance was a shield against the spiritual rot he was embracing. Aisha knew pleading was useless. With a burst of surprising resilience, she lunged and grabbed the duffel bag as Yusuf attempted to mount a motorcycle taxi. A violent struggle ensued in the public street. Yusuf, desperate and furious, fought to maintain control, attracting a small crowd. In the ensuing chaos, he managed to rip the bag free, but not before a small, heavy wooden box tumbled out, bursting open briefly. Aisha gasped in shock at the glimpse inside. Several small, crudely carved idols, juju statues, artifacts of polytheism and strictly forbidden in their faith, before Yusuf frantically shoved the box back in. This immediate, physical evidence confirmed the profound violation of Tawhid, the oneness of God, and shattered any lingering doubt. Yusuf, his face a mixture of pure anger and terror, shoved Aisha violently to the dusty ground. "You will regret this, Aisha. You will regret interfering." He leaped onto the waiting motorcycle taxi, disappearing toward the docks. Bruised but resolute, Aisha knew that protecting her family from this great evil now required the ultimate sacrifice. She had to seek the aid of the secular authorities. Stumbling into the nearest police station, Aisha was battered but spiritually determined. The fear of exposing her family was immense, but the divine command to stand against haram was stronger. She recalled the Quranic verse that solidified her choice: "O you who have believed, be persistently just, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives." Quran 4:135. This was the bedrock of her resilience. She found Officer Dada, a stern but observant policewoman. Aisha, her voice shaking but clear, recounted the entire story: Mr. Davies, the illicit shipment, the dogs, and the shocking discovery of the forbidden idols, detailing her family's path of spiritual and financial zone. Officer Dada, recognizing the gravity of contraband and illicit trade often plaguing African Muslim regions, acted swiftly. A police team was dispatched to the docks. Aisha waited, agonizing over the immediate fallout, ruin and shame for her family. When the team returned, the news was a painful duality. They had successfully intercepted a container matching her description, and Yusuf was apprehended. However, the container held illegal wildlife products, not idols, equally illicit, proving her fears about forbidden goods, and Mallam Musa and Mr. Davies had vanished. Officer Dada then showed Aisha a single, blood-stained dagger recovered from Yusuf, the same ornate weapon Aisha had seen at home. The shocking twist: Officer Dada gripped Aisha's shoulder, her gaze serious. "Your brother claims Mr. Davies forced your father into this, and now your father, Mallam Musa, is a liability. He is now a target and in grave danger somewhere in this city. You must help us find him before Mr. Davies' syndicate silences him." The final chapter of this sequence began with the terrifying realization that Mallam Musa was now prey, not just a perpetrator, haunted by Mr. Davies' dangerous syndicate. Aisha's previous actions had saved Yusuf from a crime but now threatened her father's very existence. Every siren, every Lagos sound, was amplified into a threat. Aisha's deep sense of Islamic moral lesson demanded action. Saving a life is paramount. Officer Dada confirmed the seriousness of Mr. Davies' organization, emphasizing that Mallam Musa was a loose end who knew too much about the trafficking routes across African Muslim borders. Aisha had to locate him quickly. The turning point rested on Aisha's resilience and intimate familiar knowledge. She told Officer Dada about a secluded, abandoned shack near their ancestral village, a secret place her father often used for solitude. It was a faint lead, but driven by the profound fitra, instinct of a daughter, she insisted it was their only chance. A discreet police team, accompanied by Aisha, drove out of the suffocating city towards the rural outskirts, the setting shifting from intense urban threat to tense, expectant calm. As the sun began to set, they arrived near the forgotten village. The dilapidated shack, almost consumed by thorny bushes, stood before them. Officer Dada and her team approached cautiously, weapons ready. Aisha hung back, her gaze fixed on the familiar structure, praying for guidance. This was the moment that defined her secret fear of Allah. Suddenly, a single, guttural cry pierced the evening air from within the shack, followed by the muffled sound of struggle. The door, unsecured, swung open slightly in the breeze, revealing a glimpse of the frantic interior, a struggle between a figure in a dark suit and another, smaller person. A terrifying glint of metal flashed in the dim light. Aisha recognized the reflection instantly. It was the same ornate dagger she had first seen. But the identity of the two struggling figures, and who was holding the lethal weapon, remained obscured by the heavy shadow. The chilling cry from the abandoned shack propelled the police team forward. Aisha hung back, her heart lodged in her throat, praying silently for her father's safety. Officer Dada and two officers burst through the flimsy door. The low-intensity tension immediately spiked to high action. Inside, the dim light revealed a frantic struggle, not between Mallam Musa and Mr. Davies, but between Mallam Musa and Yusuf, her brother, who had somehow escaped police custody. Yusuf held the ornate dagger, attempting to wound his father. The shocking twist: Yusuf was not trying to escape Mr. Davies, he was the one sent to silence his father. Mallam Musa had intended to confess everything to the police, realizing the spiritual and legal gravity of his actions, and Yusuf, fearful of losing the promised wealth and facing jail, saw his father as the final obstacle. This was the most profound familial betrayal, eclipsing the haram trade itself. Mallam Musa was attempting to fend off the knife, desperately pleading for his son to remember the Islamic moral lesson of honoring parents. Yusuf, remember Bear al-Walidain. Stop this madness. Yusuf was consumed by greed, ignoring the fundamental teaching. The officers immediately intervened, disarming Yusuf after a brief, violent scuffle. The emotional fallout for Aisha was devastating. Her brother, whom she tried to save from haram, had fallen so far into zulm, injustice, that he attempted patricide. Mallam Musa, though physically shaken and slightly wounded, was safe. As the police secured Yusuf, Mallam Musa collapsed, tears streaming down his face, overwhelmed by the realization of the spiritual ruin he had caused. He admitted everything: the illegal trade, his plan to confess, and the fact that he was indeed indebted to and threatened by Mr. Davies, who had manipulated Yusuf against him. The truth was bitter. The dagger was originally given to Mallam Musa by Mr. Davies to deal with loose ends, but he had kept it, hoping to use it as evidence. The atmosphere shifted to the intense, low-level tension of the police station in Lagos. Yusuf was processed, his betrayal confirmed. The physical danger was over, but the moral and spiritual cleanup for the African Muslim family had just begun. Officer Dada, impressed by Aisha's resilience and moral courage, placed Mallam Musa under protective custody to use his testimony against Mr. Davies. Aisha sat with her father, the emotional conflict heavy and suffocating. Mallam Musa confessed his weakness, his shame, and his profound regret over breaking the Islamic moral lesson of Amanah, trust, and seeking forbidden wealth. He explained that Mr. Davies, an international artifact trafficker who preyed on vulnerable local figures, had leveraged Mallam Musa's desperation after a failed business venture. The objects in the container were indeed illegal wildlife products, but the truly damning shipment, the juju statues meant to be sold to a foreign collector, was to have been Yusuf's final initiation delivery. Mallam Musa's attempt to confess was his final attempt at Taubah, repentance. Aisha, heartbroken but firm, held his hand, reminding him of the infinite mercy of Allah. She recited the Quranic verse, "Say, O my servants who have transgressed against themselves by sinning, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Indeed, it is He who is the forgiving, the merciful." Quran 39:53. This was the turning point. Her courage shifted from seeking justice to offering mercy and facilitating her father's redemption. The investigation now turned to the larger syndicate. Mallam Musa, desperate to earn true redemption, offered vital information about Mr. Davies' next shipment, detailing a meeting point at a large, remote warehouse complex near the Benin border, where the final payment for the juju statues was scheduled. This information was critical, a chance to dismantle the zulm at its source. The low-intensity tension escalated into a covert, high-stakes operation. Officer Dada's team, guided by Mallam Musa's desperate need for Taubah, mobilized for the operation near the border. Aisha, deemed essential for identifying any unusual signals her father might have known, accompanied them discreetly. The setting shifted drastically from the urban sprawl of Lagos to the dusty, sprawling anonymity of the borderlands. The silence of the remote warehouse district magnified the fear. The police staked out the area, waiting for Mr. Davies and the buyers. Aisha, watching from a distance, felt the weight of the Islamic moral lesson that one must stand up to tyranny and corruption, regardless of the danger. She recognized that her quiet devotion had prepared her for this moment of extreme resilience. The turning point occurred when the buyers arrived, not just foreign collectors, but two high-profile, respected figures from a neighboring African Muslim country, confirming the deep, cross-border corruption of the syndicate. Mr. Davies, a sleek, imposing man, began the final exchange. Suddenly, a signal flashed from the warehouse window, the tiny, coded light that Mallam Musa had described. It meant the goods were secure. However, the police had not given that signal. The twist was devastating. A man was inside the police operation. Officer Dada, realizing they were exposed, called off the raid. They had seconds to retreat before they were surrounded. The sudden chaos of the aborted raid forced Officer Dada and her team into a desperate, high-intensity retreat. The sound of rapid, incoming vehicles confirmed the police mole had tipped off Mr. Davies. They sped away from the border, the anonymity of the Nigerian countryside now feeling like a trap. Aisha watched, horrified, as Mr. Davies and his men secured the warehouse. The illegal transaction successfully concluded. The emotional fallout was severe. Mallam Musa collapsed in the vehicle, his hope for redemption shattered by the failure. The entire syndicate, including the neighboring African Muslim countries' corrupt officials, had escaped justice. The police mole had ensured the Islamic moral lesson of justice, kissed, was denied. Aisha, however, noticed a small detail during the retreat. A vehicle belonging to one of Mr. Davies' local lieutenants had broken down, abandoned hastily. She pointed it out to Officer Dada. This moment of observation, born from her constant attention to detail, was a small, crucial turning point. Inside the abandoned vehicle, the police found a laptop containing the syndicate's operational schedule, including communication logs. The evidence proved that the leak came not from Officer Dada's immediate team, but from a higher official in the regional police command. The files also revealed Mr. Davies' true identity and confirmed he was not acting alone. The final shock, the files detailed the juju statues were not for a simple collector. They were being shipped to a powerful political rival in Nigeria, meant to be used for black magic rituals. Shirk, a profound violation of Tawhid intended to undermine the state. The final phase of the operation was driven by cold, quiet determination, guided by the ultimate Islamic moral lesson, preserving Tawhid and protecting the community from Shirk, polytheism. The police mole was isolated, and the focus shifted from arresting Mr. Davies to stopping the delivery of the ritualistic juju statues. Aisha's resilience was now the centerpiece. Using the information gathered from the laptop, the police discovered the final destination of the statue shipment, a private residence in Abuja owned by the corrupt political rival. Officer Dada decided on a small, focused team, keeping the operation entirely off the main police grid to avoid the mole. The confrontation in Abuja was not a dramatic shootout, but a tense, meticulous raid. The police team secured the private residence, finding the Mr. Davies' local contact and securing the contraband. The high-intensity moment came when they opened the final package. Inside were the crudely carved statues, confirming the plot to use forbidden rituals for political power, a terrifying spiritual storm against the entire nation. The final consequences were just and profound. The evidence led to the immediate arrest of the political rival and the regional police mole, dismantling the syndicate's core structure. Mr. Davies was later tracked and apprehended attempting to flee the country. Yusuf faced legal consequences but received reduced sentencing after his father's passionate defense and proof of coercion. Mallam Musa, having offered full cooperation and genuine Taubah, was eventually cleared of the main charges, committing himself to a life of true halal trade. Aisha, the African Muslim girl who feared Allah in secret, was hailed by Officer Dada as the true hero. She had saved her family, her community, and upheld the most sacred Islamic moral lesson, the preservation of Tawhid. Her quiet, faithful resilience ensured that truth and justice prevailed over greed and corruption. Thank you for following Aisha's courageous journey. If this story of Taubah and the fight against Shirk touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe. What gave Aisha the greatest resilience, her faith, or her fear for her family? Drop it in the comments. Share this if you believe that true strength lies in fearing Allah in secret. Remember, indeed, Allah forgives all sins, but only after sincere repentance.